I put together a list of some dating advice for single moms. How do I have this list? Because I was a single mom myself. So I really know what it's like to go out here and date, how to date, how to find a partner. I was a single mom for at least 21 years, give or take. Just because you have a child does not mean that you should not be out here having balance in your life, looking for a relationship. So I know all about the world of dating and trying to navigate that world. And it looks very different. Listen, my fiance and I, we have only been together for 5 years in a relationship. So I know that before I was with him, I was kind of out here dating. And I can tell you that I understand there are some challenges. And I mean, obviously, there's challenges when you're dating as a single mom because you got school, you got daycare, you got a sick child, you have babysitting issues. There's so many things that we are trying to navigate as single moms, hence why most of us have control issues, which we got to sometimes work out before we get into a relationship. However, I still think that you can find love as a single mom in this new age of dating where there's apps and all types of things. I feel like I am tired of hearing stories about women who have been bamboozled by dudes because they brought them around their kids too early. So I was like, let me think of some things that I believed helped me keep my kids safe when I was dating, and just steps that I did. I know as moms, we want connection, we want to get our groove on. I sound so old saying we want to get our groove on, but I know what it's like to want to have connection because shit, we be lonely. You know what I'm saying? Like, the relationship didn't work out with our child's father doesn't mean that I'm still not somebody outside of being a mom. Being a mom is just who I chose to be. It doesn't mean that like you, or like as I would say, Stephanie, didn't have nothing to offer just because I was a mom. Unfortunately, that relationship that I was in didn't work out, but I am still a catch once I do the healing and getting over the stuff that I need to get over so I can show up in a relationship as my best self, or as I should say, as my most healthiest self. And I think that's one of my tips. Taking time once you got out of a relationship to kind of get some self time, to maybe do some assessing as to the attraction, why you were attracted to that person, what went wrong, was it you, was it him? We got to do the work. Like like one of the things I can say when my fiance and I connected was that like I showed up very healthy mentally, and I showed up with a lot of healing that had been done from my previous relationship, because my previous relationship was hurtful and a lot of hurtful things have been said to me, and I know that there was some damage that was done, and some definitely some trauma that was done, and I'm not innocent in that as well. Like of course when you feel like you're being attacked, you're going to attack back, but all that said, I know that I had to sit with myself. I had to get some therapy. I did go back into church. I did get back into reading the Bible. I just went into a space, and I just all everything that was surrounded that I surrounded myself in that time when I was healing was basically nothing but positivity. Like I just kind of went in for a year, give or take, and just really focused on my self healing, and that's how I was able to show up as at least my most healthiest self at that time at 39. I was able to just show up and like really just offer my best self to him. And it was fun because I was able to get back into a place. That's why I say it's so important that we do our healing, right? Because you're now able to get back into a place and tap into like what you like to do. What's the things that make you who you are? Like where's your personality? What, like outside of being a mom? Because I know that like I love being a mom so much that being a mom can like take over my personality. Like I could be just being mom mode all the time. And it's just nice sometimes. That's why I say it's nice when you're dating to be able to turn off mom personality and just be able to like be you. Talk about the things that you like to do. Talk about those interests that you like, or maybe just rediscover what those interests are. That's why it's important that you take some time, because that way when you're out here and you're dating and you're meeting somebody who may like hiking or walking or jogging or exercising or I don't know, going to amusement parks. I know it sounds so corny, but like I really do believe that those are the simple things that really get people into like having fun is where I feel like you're able to really connect with somebody when you're having genuine fun, not like out in the club fun where you're all drinking and taking shots. That's cool too, but like that shouldn't be the only source of fun that you have. You gotta have fun with somebody that wants to like travel and that likes to go out to eat, that likes to maybe like go to the library, go to Barnes and Nobles, like it take tours around the city, do like just do really simple stuff. It doesn't have to always be complicated. Like you actually might like taking a trip and walking on trails, but if you so busy in mom mode, you may have forgotten that that's something that you really enjoy to do. So get your healing, girl. Get your healing, bro. If you watching this, like take some time to yourself before you just kind of jump back into okay. All that being said, so take some time. Tip number one: take some time to do some work to heal, to figure out what happened and how you can show up as your best self or your most healthiest self in your next relationship. That's like number one dating advice, period, hands down. Like get some therapy. Is a lot of spaces out here where you can get therapy, free therapy. Go get some therapy if it's needed. So like tip number two, y'all, be careful when y'all on these dating apps. Okay. There's a lot of creeps out here that's looking to hook up with moms. Let me say it again. It's a lot of creeps out here on dating apps that's looking to take advantage of women that they know are lonely and that they know need companionship and that they know are looking for somebody to come up on financially. Be careful on these apps. I have read so many stories about women. I have watched documentaries about mothers who have met men online who came in that kind of like just disrupted their whole household. And some have even harmed their daughter, SA'd their daughter, just so many things because these women were so pressed to have a man to love them that they were willing to do anything. So I say like be careful. Be careful what you're sharing. I don't think that when you're on these dating apps and you have children, like you shouldn't have a picture of you and your child on a dating app. Like that's weird. I have seen it. I've seen it with people. Like, they want to show that they're a parent. And I just think that that's a little creepy to me. I'm just being honest. Like I don't think there should be any pictures of your children on these dating apps. I think it's okay to let people that you have children. I don't even actually let me take that back. I don't even think it's I don't think that's even something you should tell somebody on a dating app that you have children. I'm just being honest because like you don't want to attract a person that's looking for somebody that has children so they could be a creep with. Don't even tell nobody you have kids on these dating apps. Like don't even put that in your profile. Be careful of what you're putting in your profile when it comes to these dating apps because it's way more creeps out here than you think. And it's way more men and women because let me tell you, they are predators too. It's way more women out here that's looking, and I mean there's way more just people in general are out here just creeps and they're just looking to harm and take advantage of women. And less, I'm being honest, women when we're single moms, we're stuck in this place where we're stuck in this strong woman syndrome. It's it's like we're in one space we're vulnerable, but in the next space we have to put on such a hard exterior. So when you meet somebody and they're being nice to you, that tends to like drop a little bit. So people are looking to take advantage of that sometimes if you are not being wise and being hip to game and like know what's up and know what somebody is trying to do. I think that read these stories and like I am the type of person who watches documentaries that's obsessed with these kind of stories because I'm always just amazed by like how she didn't know, like how you didn't see that, or did you know, and were you just so blinded by the fact this person was like financially taking care of you? Like I don't know, it feels sad because the person who really suffers in all of this really is the children. And our job as parents, because our children are our responsibility, is to really just protect them. Period, point blank. Like it's not, period. We are here to try to protect them as best as we can. And remembering that once we're letting someone enter into our space, we have to be careful. Tip number two, be careful out here on these dating apps. Watch how you move in. Watch your desperateness. Like a lot of women out here is really thirsty. I'm gonna pray for y'all because you don't have to be thirsty. I believe that like if you really work on yourself, you will attract what you're looking to attract. And it's no need to even be thirsty or be pressed for a man out here. Like I get it. and I say this all the time, I know that as I mean, I'm in my middle age now, like I'm 44, so I know that the older we get, the harder it is to date. However, it doesn't mean you gotta be thirsty. It doesn't mean that I gotta be out here just accepting, putting up with any old thing that some guy throws just so I can get some D or I can get a little date. We don't gotta do that. Like that's corny to me. Like I'm not really into that. And I think that I see a lot of women that's out here pressed, putting up with a lot of stuff. And I'm like, if y'all just said no to that nonsense, these men would show up very differently. And I know these social media apps got these dudes out here tripping with this drizzle movement and all this whole other foolishness. Don't buy into that. It's still a lot of good men out here that are looking to be providers, that are looking to be men that want to show up and support you. Period. Like the fact that y'all may think it's not, the lies. And let me tell you something. Don't think that because I know I'm on tip number 2 and that's dating, but I'm kind of going off on a tangent because I'm really passionate about this and I'm kind of just freestyling because I'm just talking to y'all. Like I have a script, I have notes, but I am kind of going off the script a little bit because I really want y'all to understand how don't be bamboozled by people telling you that because you have a child, you're not worthy of meeting someone else and finding someone else. I had someone tell me when I was young that if I have a child, I said this in one of my other videos that if I had, because I had a child, that I was not, nobody was ever going to like want me or date me or like want to be with me. The lies, it's all lies. It's just lies. So don't let nobody say to you like, oh, because you have X, Y, and Z, you're not able to find somebody. Now, let me say this, and I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all because I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I think your kid count does matter. I think that like once you continue to have more than one kid or 2 kids or 3 kids, yes, I do think that it does get harder to date somebody unless the person you are dating has a very similar amount of children. I'm just being honest. Like I think that if you date somebody and they only got 1 kid and you got 5 kids, it's going to be a little bit difficult for y'all to find time while you have young children. And that's just the facts. Like that's the facts. Like so let's I'm not going to sugarcoat that detail when it comes to dating. I think that people don't like to look at that, but I'm just being honest. Like the more kids you have, the harder it is to date. Now, I right now currently have 3 children. For 21 years, I only had 1 child. So it was definitely easier for me to date and to move around and to find love and to just be outside when I was outside. My third tip is don't be so quick to be in a rush to bring people around your children. Oh, that ish burns me up. I can't even tell you how much it burns me up when I see girls just barely know a guy and the guy already in a house, met their family, hanging with their kids. Now, let me take this back. It's nothing wrong with a guy meeting your family. That don't mean he gotta meet your kids though. Okay. Like I have guys who have met my mom that never met my son. Why do they need to meet my son? Like we there's no need for you to meet my son right now. I'm sorry. Like our relationship hasn't shown me that we are in position where you need to meet my son. Like meeting my mom, cool. Cause like I love people to know. I want people to know who I'm with, who I'm out, who I'm kicking it with. My son, not so much. That's very different. I take him personal. I take that relationship with him very serious. And yes, I am a boy mom. So I am very mindful of how many men I will be bringing around my kids and introducing my sons to. I'm just that mom. Like I'm not the mom that's out here. Oh, I'm dating John 5 minutes, and then I'm dating Raheem. Oh, let me introduce Brian to my son. That's not me. I don't believe in that, and I don't think that mom should believe in it. I think that when boys see their mother dating multiple men back to back, it does something to them. Period. Like it does something to them. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't really get into the psychology of it all on this. But I have read books. I have, especially if their dad is not involved in their life, I think it is very damaging for boys to see moms dating multiple men at one time or in like a short period of time. So my point is, there's no rush to bring these people home to your kids, right? It kind of piggybacks off of like the dating apps and all that kind of stuff. Like all this needs to be careful. Like give you give this dude time to show you that he like you for you. Give this guy time to understand that like he can handle the challenges of your schedule. Give this guy time to see that like, listen, my kid is sick tonight. I know we had plans, but like I can't go out. And let me hear him say like, was there anything I can do? Can I run you by some medicine? Let's see where his thoughtfulness is at. Like, give him time to show you that he is a candidate or in position to meet your child. Don't just go out with this dude to a few dinners that I don't care if it's Del Frisco's to Applebee's or Outback. Don't give this guy because you went out with him for a few times. Now you done went out with him for 3 times and you done maybe hooked up with him. That makes him your man. Okay, even if I do make him your man, that don't mean he need to meet your child. Give that time. Take your time with that. I feel like that's the one relationship I feel like you should be slow walking that introduction is introducing somebody who you haven't been with for at least 6 months to a year and see your child. And I know you may say like, Stephanie, yo, you tripping. Why should I wait 6 months for somebody to meet my child? Because you should. Because just because you was with somebody for 6 months don't mean that you really know who they are. Just because you're with somebody for a year doesn't mean that you really know who they are. So I'm aware of that. You should be aware of that. I know it feels good. They may can talk to you. Your son may know that you're dating somebody. Your daughter may know that you're dating somebody. I think that in time, when the time is right, you will make the introduction. But it doesn't have to be within 3 months or 6 months or even a year. I really just don't believe that. And I think that if you try that and see, not rushing how the person responds to your challenges or just respecting your lifestyle as a single mom, you'll really get to see who that person is and how much that person is down for you. I have a little quick story time in this whole thing. I remember my fiance, the man I am with right now, and one of the reasons why I knew he was the one before this incident even happened, this moment happened. But there was this time where I had an opportunity to work some overtime, and my mom and my stepdad, they couldn't help me with childcare at that time with my son. And I didn't have nobody that could help because I really did have to be to work. If I wanted to take the overtime, I had to be to work at like I don't know, like I had to leave at the house by like 5 something in the morning or something like that. And so I remember he said to me, because he saw me like he knew I wanted to do he knew I wanted to pick up the extra time. And at this point, we had been together for quite some time at this point now. Um, and he said to me, well, do you want me to help you? Because at that point he had only met my son like a little bit. Like he hadn't met my son, like been around him, spend the night, nothing like that. Like he just kind of met him like at a cookout my cousin had or something like that. Like he didn't really have like we didn't really do a whole lot around my son at that time. It was just mainly him and I. And so when he asked me that I need help, he was like, dude, can I help you? Like I want to help you. And I remember thinking like, are you sure you like do you know how to like do all these childcare things? Like he got to get dropped off at daycare. So he even like took him to daycare for me, dropped him off. Like, and at that point, obviously I trusted him with my son. So I was comfortable, but the fact that he was the person who said to me, "Can I help you? Can I ask? Like, can I help you? Like, I see." Because I was about to turn the time. I was about to call my supervisor and say, like, hey, I just can't work it because I don't have nobody to watch my son that early in the morning. I don't have nobody that can take him to daycare for me that early in the morning. So he was like, no, don't. I got you. Like, I got you. I'm going to come up there. I got you. I'm going to handle everything. And I was able to leave everything out, prepare him for the next day, and everything went off like a hitch. And because of that, I was able to actually pick up a consistent flow of like extra overtime, and it was so helpful. And I remember thinking like, this is how you know somebody is the quality of person that you want your child to be around, the type of man you want your child to be around, because here he recognizes that as a single mom, I can't do it all. And he's like, how can I step in and help her? Because I see she is trying to do it all and she can't. So I want to be a support to her. That was like chef's kiss. And that's when I like was like, okay, yeah. That's my baby. That's my man. So like one of the best tips I am going to give you is communication. You have to be able to be a good communicator, to be, especially when you're a single mom. Like you have to be able to have your emotions in check, because one thing you don't want to happen when you're a single mom and you're dating is for there to be like negative spillover from your current situation or with your child's father or mother or whatever the case you want to be. Like you got to be able to be a good communicator. You got to be able to be manage your time. And that is a dating tip. Knowing how to manage your time. Knowing how to like, if you have your kids have school, you can go out on a date. If your kids gotta be in bed by a certain time, this may not be the best time. So and time, and if you have every other weekend with your kid's father, like I love that when it is your free weekend that you're able to be free. And I want you to utilize that every other weekend to go out there and let your hair down and go have fun. Do not sit in the house missing your kid, because I know it's hard and I know we're sad, but I'm telling you, yes, this is a dating tip. My dating tip is do not be sitting in the house soaking that your kid is gone for the weekend while they're out with their dad or having a good time and you're sitting in the house. Because I promise you, your child father is not sitting in the house when it's not his weekend or during the week. If he don't have your kid during the week and he only have your kid every other weekend, I promise you he outside. I promise you that he in happy hours. I promise you that he on trips. I promise you that he is outside. When he don't have your child, he is outside living his best life, okay? So I want you to go out as well and enjoy your weekends, your free time, to learn, to relearn, to rediscover yourself, okay? Because that is where you're going to find that you're able to get in touch. Where I feel like that's where you're going to be like, that's a red flag. You're going to be able to see red flags. You're going to be able to see so much stuff because you took the time to do the work and you know how to communicate. I mean, I know how this shit feels like it's all over the place because I'm just basically like freestyling. But I feel like that's like a really good point. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people who don't have their kids and they're like, I'm sad, I don't have my kids. And yes, I get it. We wanted that relationship to work. Yes, we wanted our kids to be with us and be with the father, but that's just not the situation. And I believe that kids are best served when they are in two separate households with people who are happy. Like a happy mom, a happy dad showing up for their child is so much more important than two people staying in a relationship where they may not be showing up together at their best. And that's just period. Just period on period on period. And so those are just some things. These are just like a little short list of things I really want moms to remember. And I think also like, you know, there's like this whole thing on like TikTok where like they're like all the guys been talking about like MILFs and how men love moms. And a lot of times I know why they love us. Not because we still look good and we still have kids. Like my oldest son is 29. So nobody can even believe that I actually have a 29-year-old, but I do. My oldest son is 29 and my youngest son is 3. I don't even want to get into it. However, you know what I love? You know what I know? That like men do have that thing of like mom, MILF type of, ugh, I don't want to say the word, the F word. But I know that like there is something that comes along with that, and it's called maturity, right? I think that men are also attracted to women that are mature, and that's why you see Drea and all these other girls that are with these young guys. Yeah, they might be with them because they're come up and they're basketball players, but I do know that the other reason why they're probably with them is because a lot of them women are mature. A lot of them women know how to like handle shit, know how to balance a household, know how to run a household, know what it's like to raise children, and not necessarily always nitpicking like most girls. Because truth be told, like when you're a single mom, I don't really have time for a lot of the other drama that someone who don't have kids may have time for. Like, I just don't have the time for that. I don't have the room. I don't have the headspace. I don't not have time to like harp on that kind of stuff. So I think that like embrace that. Like, right? Like walk in that thing that like you bring in a lot of stuff to the table. And just because you have kids does not mean that you do not have nothing to offer. You have so much to offer as a woman, as a mom, just as a person that's here. You have so much to offer to anybody. And I think that if you keep those things in mind and you go into dating with those type of tips in mind, like I'm going to do a video on like how to find love when you're in your 40s or whatever. If y'all want to hear my tips that I have on how to find love in their 40s, because one of the things that people was asking me when I got engaged was like, did you say the Sierra prayer? I didn't, but I did do some things though. Y'all know I keep a journal on deck, okay? I have a million books around here on just deck. Know that you can find a man. And these are just a couple dating tips that I think that will help you on your journey as a single mom when you're trying to date. These are not the most conventional ones. I'm sure there's plenty of videos out here. These are just some things that I, as a single mom, put into practice that I know helped me. I got a man. I got engaged. I got engaged at 40, okay? At 40. So I think I do know what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm able to sit here and say, like, listen, I know that these are some of the things that work for me, and I believe they can also work for you. Thank you for watching this video. And if you like this kind of content, please do not hesitate to subscribe to my channel. Please, it would help me out. And if you give this video a thumbs up, that would help me out as well. It would just help the algorithm kind of push my content out there some more. And if you like this video, I have another video that I talk about that you probably would like some more of this type of conversation. Have a good one. So today I want to talk about one of the things I want to talk about today is I really feel like, no, I know you're fucking lying. Who's calling me right now? I'm gonna have to call her back. I love her, but I'm gonna have to call her back. I wonder if it's interrupting my video. People don't know I'm trying to record. You know what I'm saying? I probably should put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I'm using my cell phone. Anyway, when I tell you, oh my God. Didn't I tell y'all put your phone on Do Not Disturb, and I didn't put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So now I gotta let the phone ring so that it can keep recording. Lesson learned. Okay, lesson learned.